The first time Xiao Zhan walked into the rehearsal room, nobody expected history to quietly begin unfolding. The atmosphere inside the studio was busy, noisy, and slightly chaotic, with staff members rushing between lighting setups, costume racks, and camera adjustments. It was another ordinary production day in the entertainment industry. At least, that was what everyone believed at the time. But years later, several staff members who witnessed that very first encounter between Xiao Zhan and Wang Yibo would admit something unforgettable happened the moment they met. According to one former assistant who worked closely with the production team, Xiao Zhan arrived carrying an energy that was warm and approachable. He greeted nearly everyone politely, smiling even while trying to memorize scripts and understand the shooting schedule. Meanwhile, Wang Yibo sat quietly in the corner, headphones around his neck, focused almost entirely on his own preparation. The contrast between the two stars was impossible to ignore. One looked openly friendly and expressive. The other appeared calm, distant, and almost impossible to read. What shocked many staff members later was Xiao Zhan's honest first reaction to Wang Yibo. Several insiders claimed Xiao Zhan initially thought Wang Yibo was cold and difficult to approach. Not because Wang Yibo was rude, but because he barely spoke during the first few hours of filming. He answered questions with short replies, avoided unnecessary conversations, and kept his attention on practice. To outsiders, especially someone meeting him for the first time, Wang Yibo's reserved personality could easily be misunderstood. One makeup artist later revealed that Xiao Zhan quietly asked a staff member whether Wang Yibo was always that serious. The comment was never meant negatively. In fact, Xiao Zhan reportedly seemed more curious than uncomfortable. He simply could not figure out what Wang Yibo was thinking. Unlike many actors in the industry who actively tried to socialize on set, Wang Yibo seemed completely uninterested in small talk. He looked focused, disciplined, and emotionally guarded. But everything slowly began changing after their first few rehearsals together. Staff members noticed that Wang Yibo's behavior around Xiao Zhan gradually became different from how he interacted with others. Although he remained quiet most of the time, he began paying close attention whenever Xiao Zhan spoke. During script readings, he listened carefully to Xiao Zhan's ideas. During action rehearsals, he often adjusted his own timing to match Xiao Zhan's rhythm perfectly. Little by little, the invisible distance between them started disappearing. One crew member described a particularly memorable moment during an early costume fitting session. Xiao Zhan apparently struggled with one complicated accessory while preparing for a scene. Before any staff member could help, Wang Yibo silently walked over and fixed it himself within seconds. He did not say much afterward. He simply returned to his seat as if nothing unusual had happened. But Xiao Zhan reportedly looked genuinely surprised. It was the first moment he realized Wang Yibo's quiet personality did not mean indifference. As filming continued, staff members began witnessing more unexpected interactions between the two stars. Xiao Zhan, naturally energetic and humorous, often tried to make Wang Yibo laugh during breaks. At first, Wang Yibo only reacted with small smiles or subtle expressions. But eventually, the reactions became more obvious. Crew members noticed that Wang Yibo laughed more frequently whenever Xiao Zhan was nearby. The atmosphere on set also became noticeably lighter whenever they worked together. One lighting technician later shared that Xiao Zhan's original impression of Wang Yibo completely transformed within a surprisingly short time. According to the insider, Xiao Zhan eventually described Wang Yibo as someone warmer than people think. Behind the cool exterior was a person who paid attention to details, remembered small things, and quietly supported people without needing recognition. That realization apparently changed the entire dynamic between them. The production team also noticed how naturally their chemistry developed in front of the camera. Directors often praised the emotional intensity of their scenes, even during early filming stages. What made the performances feel authentic, according to insiders, was the growing trust between the two actors. Xiao Zhan became more comfortable improvising emotional reactions because he trusted Wang Yibo's timing completely. Wang Yibo, meanwhile, seemed more relaxed and expressive whenever sharing scenes with Xiao Zhan. Interestingly, some staff members admitted they initially worried the personalities of the two actors might clash. Xiao Zhan's outgoing nature and Wang Yibo's reserved personality seemed like complete opposites. But instead of creating tension, the differences unexpectedly balanced each other. Xiao Zhan brought energy into conversations, while Wang Yibo brought calmness and focus. Together, they created a working relationship that slowly became one of the most talked-about dynamics behind the scenes. Another assistant director revealed that one of the biggest turning points came during a physically exhausting filming schedule. The cast and crew had reportedly been working overnight for several consecutive days. Everyone was exhausted. At one point, Xiao Zhan looked visibly drained between takes. According to the staff member, Wang Yibo quietly handed him a drink without saying anything. Xiao Zhan seemed genuinely touched by the gesture because it happened so naturally and without any attempt to draw attention. That small moment spread quickly among the staff. Many crew members started noticing how Wang Yibo often expressed care through actions instead of words. He rarely made dramatic statements or openly emotional comments, but he consistently paid attention to Xiao Zhan's condition during filming. Whether adjusting props, checking choreography, or waiting patiently during retakes, Wang Yibo's behavior showed a level of attentiveness that surprised many people on set. Meanwhile, Xiao Zhan reportedly became one of the few people capable of bringing out Wang Yibo's playful side. Staff members frequently heard laughter coming from their rehearsal area during breaks. Sometimes they joked about random topics. Other times they competed over games or playful challenges. The once serious and distant image Xiao Zhan had formed during their first meeting slowly disappeared completely. One costume department employee even claimed that Xiao Zhan later admitted he had been completely wrong about Wang Yibo's personality. According to the insider, Xiao Zhan realized Wang Yibo was not cold at all. He was simply introverted and cautious around new people. Once comfortable, however, Wang Yibo revealed a surprisingly funny, loyal, and caring side that few outsiders initially saw. The evolution of their friendship quickly became visible to everyone around them. Staff members began noticing subtle habits between the two actors. Wang Yibo often looked toward Xiao Zhan first after completing difficult scenes, almost as if searching for his reaction. Xiao Zhan, meanwhile, frequently included Wang Yibo in conversations even when the younger actor stayed quiet. Their interactions became increasingly natural and synchronized. Behind the scenes, many crew members developed a special affection for their partnership because it never appeared forced. Unlike some celebrity pairings carefully designed